Okay, so we're going to make a really quick video on what to click and what not. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail. This account is going to be a fake one. I'm not going to be interacting with anything. So mods or admins, please delete the account afterwards if you want to. I'm not going to be logging into this again. So I've made the account. Go ahead and click play. This is what you're going to see when you first enter into the game. So this is the universe. You don't need to know about that, but we're going to accept, and you're going to select your company creation assistant. So we're going to do Victwaller. This is going to be making edibles, and the only thing you really need is water. So we're going to be needing to start on a water planet. So go ahead and hit next, and we're going to be starting with the Inzitor Cooperative. This is the faction that gives you a bonus to food production and to farming, and the other ones do not. So this is why we're choosing this. We're going to be making lots of edibles and food. All the edibles and food are necessary for pretty much everyone that plays the game, so it's always going to be in demand, and this is a good starting point. Okay, so we want to Hortus and Avalon is good for food processing, but we don't want that. It's too far away from the exchange. What you want to start on is on Promontory, because we're going to be starting with water. It's the only system or planet with water on it in this system. So we're going to go ahead and go to next, and then we're going to choose a company name. So let's go with Chris Cruel and KK2. Okay, we're going to skip. Now you can go back to the tutorials if you want to. First of all, I just want you to understand that all of these tiles, and this is what the tutorial will teach you, is all of these tiles are completely adjustable. So you can move them however you want. You can delete them. You can create new ones. So you start with 3 here. So this is your finances screen. This is your income statement and balance sheet. If you click on the contracts, this will be the newbie tutorial. And then this is your start. The big thing we need to do is this is your bases. So we don't have any bases. The entire game is running around producing goods, and you need a base to produce goods. So let's go to our contracts, and we're going to look at this here. Click on view. And then it wants us to set up our first base. And then once that is done, this action is going to depend on, we'll get $5,000. So we start with $40,000 here on the cash balances. You also get $1,000 for the other ones. But as a trial player, you're not able to do any kind of currency exchange, so I wouldn't really worry about it. If you do decide to get payment, you'll be able to transfer that over. Okay, so go ahead and go to the first screen, and you're going to click on Start Base. So it needs these materials to start a base, which we have already have in the game. So go ahead and skip. And this has created a 4th screen for us. You can see it's a base. You'll also be getting 2 more called traveling and trading, but that will take a while to get set up. So we're not going to be doing that in this tutorial, but eventually you'll get there. Okay, so these are your 2 ships. We have 2 ships that you start off with, and these are by far the most expensive thing that you own. These cost millions of credits in the game, and it's going to be a while until you see a million credits in the game. So take care of these ships. They are very valuable. Okay, so this is our inventory screen. So here's the ship info. You don't really need to know anything on that, but you have these little tabs here. You can see how much fuel you have here. And then this is flight controls, but you want to hit click on this unload button. So we want to unload the inventory of both of our ships into our base. So this is our inventory for our base. So now our ships are unloaded, and we can start building. So I want you to construct your starter buildings. So you need 5 buildings. You're going to go to construct here. You're going to need 2 HB1s. This is going to house our pioneers that we need pioneers to build our buildings. So we're going to build 2 of them. There you go. And then you don't have to worry about accidentally building 3. You can't build it anymore. And then here's all the tabs for all the buildings that you're going to need. We want the pioneers tab. We're going to build stuff in the pioneers here. So we're going to need 1 farm. We're going to need 1 food processor. And we're going to need a rig. So we need to extract water with it. So as you can see over here on the production lines, we have 3 connection lines. And as you build more buildings, you just get more slots here. So, okay, so the first thing we want to do is make some water. So if you click on new order, this will create new production orders. You want to always keep this at 1. And this building can only make water. So we're going to queue up the orders. So you can see here, this is queued up here and is starting to a production line. So we're going to fill our entire queue up. So now we have 6 orders, and basically your entire job in this game is to make sure your queue is filled, that you always have production going. Now, if you decide to buy the game, you can have a option to have a recurring order. So this will keep queuing up this into your queue, so you don't have to manage your lines. And this is very useful once you start getting a lot of buildings. Like, for instance, I have 16 farms, and to be able to manage that with only 5 queue slots, I have to basically have it recurring. But it's something you have to get to. So, okay, so we got our water running. Now we need to get our farm going. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff you can make here with the farms. And the most important one you're going to do is we're going to make rations. And to make rations, we need these beans, we need these high carb grains, and you need these triglyceride fruits. Okay, so one process is going to take 1 water to make 2 beans, and it'll take 5 hours. Or you could use 6 water to make 4 beans in less time. So this is about 2 hours faster. So this is the one we're going to do. So we're going to do 1 bean, just like here. And then we're going to go to our greens, and we have 2 choices. You have 1 H2O to make 4, or 4 water to make 4. And this is faster. Water is plentiful. You don't need to worry about being efficient at this time. So go ahead and queue that order. And then lastly, we need our veg. You only have 1 option. You don't have to worry about that. Okay, so we have 3. Now you have to make them in this order. Or you can make veg, green, bean, doesn't matter, but you still have to make 1 of each every time, and it needs to cycle like that. So we're going to have to go back to bean, create 1, and then we're going to go to green, make another one, and then veg. And you want to keep repeating this cycle. So if you get more farms, you need to make sure you keep this ratio as you go. And lastly, we're going to go to our food processor, and we want to make the ration. So this is the basic ration. All of our, every single pioneer requires this as a resource. So this is very lucrative. And we want the ration. You see there's a lot of options for rations. The one we're going to do is beans, veg, and green. This is one of the better ways to make rations, one of the most profitable ways. So click on that, and we're just going to fill up our queue. That's the only thing you're going to be making in that food processor. Okay, our production orders are queued up. We're good. You'll never need this. So you can go ahead and click this. And then let's look at our workforce. So our pioneers, these are our pioneers, and they require 5 items. Now, 3 of them are essential. If you do not have these 3, these production lines will not run. And each of these, this rig, food processor, and farm set all require pioneers, and it's the only population you require. So these are very simple, and you need to make sure you have this stocked. So you eventually want to get coffee as well, caffeinated infusion, and padded overalls. So this one's the cheaper one. This one's a little bit more expensive. It costs about as much as drinking water. But you want to make sure that you have this one. Your current buildings are going to be consuming 5 units per day. So you start off with drinking water of 35. So that means we have 7 days of this. And then basic rations, you're going to be making basic rations. So you're always going to have plentiful amounts of rations. You don't need to worry about restocking that. You just make sure you have a couple days of rats in your inventory. And then the last one is the basic overalls. So we're going to need these 3. And you're going to need to go and get padded overalls and coffee infusion. So to be able to go to the market, we need to, first off, let's go into our contracts and make sure that we have fulfilled all of our things. So they wanted us to start a production order, and we got 2,500 cash there. So we got paid 7,500 credits just for doing the tutorial. The next one it wants us to do is to complete a production order. Now, once this is complete, you're going to get the payment of the 25 automatically, but you have to come into this contract and click fulfill once this is done. So this is going to take, the fastest one is going to be 6 hours and 30 minutes. We're not going to wait around for that. And to once that is done, you'll be able to fulfill this, and it'll open up the next screen. There'll be a 5th screen called travel, and this is where the tutorial will tell you you need to go to the exchange and you need to take stuff with you to sell. So you can take these rats and we can load up one of our ships. So let's go ahead and drag this over. You just drag and drop onto one of these ships' inventories, and it'll highlight to let you know what to do. So we're going to go ahead and take 10 of them or 20 of them. Okay. So now in order to move this ship, you need to go into this button here. It's called the ship flight control. Okay. So it wants us to select a destination. Where you want to go is Hortus Station. The system name that we are in, VH331, has a nickname and it's called Hortus. That's where you are. So the Hortus Station is where the commodity exchange are. And there's 4 exchanges in the entire universe, or the big factions, and there's 2 in the outer rims as well. But those aren't important. The only one we care about is Hortus. So we're going to click on Hortus. It's HRT. And we want to go ahead and as you drag this, it'll tell you how much fuel you use to get there. So this will use a third of your fuel. You have 1,500 fuel. And if you go down to the min, it'll use 59. It'll take 7 hours. Or you can max it out and get there in 41 minutes. Now, this fuel is very expensive. So it's about 15 credits per fuel. So if you use 500 times 15, you're using 7,500 credits worth of fuel to get there in 41 minutes, as opposed to if you used the very minimum, you're using 59. So this will cost you a little bit less than 1,000 credits to get to the station. You want to make sure that when you go to the station, because you have to also come back, so you have to make sure that you have fuel to come back, but you can buy fuel at the commodity exchange as well. That it's worth it. So whatever you're carrying stuff, you want to make sure that it's full before you head out. So the only times you really need to go is you are running out of resources here, and you can set this up so you can only have to check on it every 7 days. So you can be like once a week, you're like, all right, I'm going to ship off to the exchange every 7 days, grab what you need for the next 7 days, like load up all your rats and do that. And then you don't have to put much input into this game. So if you want to put more effort into the game, you can set up more bases and whatnot. You can use the credits to start building more buildings and so forth. And I'll show you how to do that in another video probably. So this will send it off to Hortus Station. And to buy stuff off the commodity exchange, go ahead and click on Hortus Station. You'll see this link anywhere. You can also go to the map and find the commodity exchange here and click on this. And this will bring up the commodity exchange. So you can see all of the stuff that's created in the game. So to sell your rats, you're going to go to consumables basic, and the rat is here under basic rats. So you need to first click on orders and then trade. So this is the bid ask spread. We want to, if you want to sell it straight and just get your money cash now, you can see that the spread is $3. So you can be patient, and let's say you have your 20 rats and you want to sell them for $143. So this is 1 credit below 144. So it'll be the smallest, it'll be the cheapest option. But since this spread is so small, you might as well just dump it to the bids here. You're only making another 40 credits if you be patient. So to do that, you would type in the sell amount, and you would sell it to the bids. You can also put buy orders if you want, but unless you know what you're doing, I wouldn't really recommend it as much. So you need a storage location to be able to do that. So, and then you want to make sure you get your drinking water. So you can just hit the orders and the trade for each one of these. And these are selling for 82, so you can grab what you need on here. So you can go to your workforce, and you know that you need basically 5 per day. So however many days of stuff you want to pick up. So if you only want to do it 7 days, you say 7 times 5, you need 35 drinking water. So make sure you buy 35 drinking water. Make sure you buy 0.6 times 7, about 4 or 5 of these basic overalls. And the same thing for the caffeinated infusion and these. So you only need 1 padded overall for 1 day. Okay, so let's say you start having credits and you want to start expanding and stuff. So 1 rig can support 1 food processor and 1 farmstead, or 2 of them. I'm sorry. So the next thing you need to do is you need to buy the materials to build another farmstead, and you need to buy the materials to buy another food processor. You should have 2 of these going and 2 of these going and 1 of these going. And then once you do that, you'll need to double that. So eventually you have 2 rigs and 4 food processors and 4 farmsteads. To figure out what you need to come in here, and you also need to find the HP1. So right now, let's talk about our workforce. We have 120 required, and we are currently supporting 200. So you're also going to need HP1s. So you need to, these will support 100 pioneers each, and if you build another farmstead and a food processor, the requirements will be 210. So you need another HP1 as well. So you need this MCG, a BTA, BDE, BBH, and BSE for just one of them. You need this amount to be able to. So you have to go into this commodity exchange. These are found under construction parts, I believe. No, not construction parts. I'm sorry. Construction materials. So this is MCG, mineral construction granulate. These are $35 each. You have to come in here and buy these. So we need 40 for an HP1. So you would come down here and hit 40, and then you would go to the ask and go 35.8 and then buy. This is how much it costs to build this one. But you also need these 4 parts, and these are all under the construction prefabs. So this is BBH, BDE, BSA, and BTA. And you also need to do that for each of the buildings that you want to buy. So you're going to need 1 Pioneer habitation, and you're going to go to Pioneers, and you're going to go to Farmstead, and you need these items as well for 1 Farmstead, and you need these items for 1 food processor. So you basically add these up, you use a Excel spreadsheet or whatever you need to do, put them into your ship, put in the materials you need to keep your base running, and then you got to bring your ship back to the base. And it's just the same way of shipping off. The tutorial will teach you how to do that, and that's literally the game. That's all you have to do to have your base running. It's super easy. There's a lot to this game. There's a lot of things you have to learn if you want to start being good at it and expanding and stuff. But you check out the other videos as well to see what you can do to start planning out your bases better. But this is the bare minimum. So I don't have to even look at my base for another day. I can just log out, come back another day, and all this stuff will only be half done. And you just fill your queues up, keep your queues going. You need to put and drag your materials into one of your ships. You don't even have to use both ships. You just need one ship to move around, and then go back to the commodity exchange, sell your goods, buy what you need to continue expanding and stuff, and then ping me in Discord if you need any help, any questions. There's all of these help videos. There's all of these things you can search. You can go through the handbook. There's lots of stuff to explore in the game. You have all these buttons to tell you all this stuff if you want to explore as well. But this is all you need to do to play the game and to start making credits. So the current setup will make 5,000 credits per day. If you double up the farmstead and food processor, you'll make 10,000 credits per day. So you'll be able to build, each of these buildings are about 20,000 each. If you come into the sidebar, you can see I have 40,000. So I can easily buy the food processor, farmstead, and the HP1. With my starting cash, you'll need a little bit more to get that last food processor. Make sure you build the farm first, the HP1 first, and then the farmstead first, and then the food processor. You want to make sure you're making these veggies before you start adding on rat production. So go ahead and do that, and then check in. Like, you can set it up so you only have to check in once a week. It's super easy. And then go ahead and ping me in Discord if you have any questions. So See y'all in the next one.